So,
And we're live.
are we? Cool.
Are we?
Yes, we were
That is
warming
the
up the
question.
stream. We were warming up the stream with Fish Brain, who killed it this morning and played a lot of things across from the metaverse. And so, yeah, here we are for the first event with PageDAO. And so I understood that you host it, right?
Yeah. We at the PageDAO have quite a few things cooking. PageDAO has basically spun up out of Whip Publishing. So the main focus is bringing literature to the blockchain. And there are a lot of challenges and hurdles to overcome in the publishing industry and the standard publishing industry. So a lot of the focus was looking at how those could be overcome with this new Web3 technology. And with this amazing team of people, we've been able to really kind of whittle away just one by one at some of those issues and bring the benefits of the creative freedom, the financial freedom, the collaborative spirit, bring all those things together for literature on the blockchain, whether that's poetry, whether that's a novel, whether that's a comic book or a musician bio. There's all sorts of things that can benefit from this Web3 space in literature, including audiobooks and all sorts of craziness. So at PageDAO, a lot of what we do is use the resources that we have, including the Page token, which we'll probably talk a little bit about how we launched that, to offer bounties, rewards, grants to writers who maybe need a little bit of resources to be able to focus on their passion and talent of writing, and including visuals, cover art, things like that. So it's a pretty big area to tackle, but we have a lot of fun doing it. And a couple of the activities we do weekly are Pass the Pen, which is every Friday in Tokensmart. And it's basically a community collaborative writing exercise experiment. And we get a theme, basically, just back and forth between the community and the hosts, generally myself and Jimmy. We get a theme going, and then we just start throwing ideas out and see what sticks. And between the amazing community and the variety of hosts that we have, we come up with these crazy stories. And the first one is the Space Pirate Psychedelic Booty, and it turned into this incredible, pretty large story about psychedelic spore that had come to Earth and unlocks, kind of these mental powers, and the tech companies that want to keep it a secret and, have that power and wealth that comes from it for themselves. The Earth is in a pretty bad spot. Space travel is a thing, but not interstellar yet. And so you have this kind of slave colony out on Pluto that's run by the East Interstellar Corp. And you have Pirate Diamondbeard, who is, with his ragtag band of space pirates that go and basically free the enslaved population of miners on Pluto. And it's quite a hysterical adventure. So that's just to throw out a little bit of what can be done. And we've been working just the last couple weeks on a very special one called ZombieVerse. And it's been a wild ride. I won't lie. I finished my chapter 1 last night, flushed it all out with all the dialogues and everything, and I was using my notes app and voice to text and then cleaning it up a little. And when I went to copy it over this morning and drop it in the final document, delete. So I lost it, and I'm gonna wing chapter 1 for y'all. We're gonna get into ZombieVerse. Yeah, unfortunately. It was kind of in my haze, my foggy morning. I was just turning on the coffee machine, and I was like, oh, I'll go drop this in the doc now. Highlight, cut instead of copy. And I swear there used to be a way to recover that, but I didn't find it. Anyways, sad stories aside, we have a damn lot of fun, and I would love to invite any of the team that are here and want to jump on and unmute and just talk a little bit about what we're doing.
Yeah, that's literally happened to everybody, Easy. Like, man, don't feel too bad, but that is rough. On the big day, no less. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Right on. Well, yeah, I've got a couple of things I'd like to say to everybody. First of all, just thanks for having us here at the Metaverse Music Festival. This is really an exciting thing. I remember like 6 months ago talking to Jose Cabrera about this, and it was still like a dream. And earlier this morning, I was just thinking, like, you know what? Like, it's actually pretty crazy how fast that dude's dream just like straight up came true, and it's like gonna be reality now. So I'm pretty excited about that. If I'm being honest, I'm like really just over the moon excited about that. Because I think I see that kind of thing happening everywhere. But
it's pretty phenomenal to be here today. And it has taken a huge amount of work from the MVMF crew. And I've just, big shout out. I mean, so many, but I gotta shout out, Mighty. There's the idea sort of came about, and we talked about this last night some, originally inspired by the Tokensmart New Year's Eve party that was a 24-hour music fest with a couple little kind of panels or fireside chats thrown in there. And on the Mighty Mai show, Mighty and Mai had mentioned, like, man, we really, we ought to do something like that, but even bigger. And from that seed, bringing in, Natalie Cruz, powerhouse of energy and organization, and Lindsay with an E, and Andy, and I mean, just so many people have come together, and then that has sprouted into this web reaching out across, the metaverse and regular space, bringing in so many talented musicians and artists and builders and wearable makers. It's just been an incredible ride. So to be here today at the MVMF, being able to share some about what we're doing with PageDAO and with publishing is incredible, and it's just phenomenal to be here.
Do you think we have collab.landbot in this Discord or not yet?
Oh, we do have some bots. I think I'm going to try something here. I know we do have the tip bot. I'm not sure about collab land, but let's just check here. Should be dropping.
Yeah, we'll get the page flowing. This will be really cool.
Oh.
I want to announce to everybody that we have a special guest who's going to help us spice up the writing just a little bit. And that person's name is Rizzle!
Yeah.
Oh,
hello,
damn.
Rizzle. Rizzle is in the house. Big shout out.
You like the
Wild
drummer?
Rizzle. Unwhack that Wild Rizzle.
Oh, is it whacked?
What an epic surprise.
What's up, everybody?
Awesome to have you here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I didn't realize I was like partaking in the writing, but I'm down to like come up with some weird stuff. This sounds like my vibe.
Hell yeah. You've been coming up with some badass weird shit lately. I really, really like the Fly Frog experiment, man. Like, I think that's like super cool. I'm just like a fan.
One of the things that I also really enjoyed about some of the Fly Frog experience is encapsulating that live community spirit. We had over at the Whip a couple weeks back, we had Fly Frogs, and Rizzle came through representing as well. And they made live right there some Fly Frogs taking feedback from the community. We'd throw out like colors or textures and things like that, and boom, right there we had this phenomenal Tokensmart cheesy Fly Frog that I fell in love with, and some lucky person won it.
Nice. Man, I just like went through and bought a bunch of the ones that had gold chains on them. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah.
Yo, they are cool, man. I've been like working with this project and like basically steering them in a really weird like community based direction. But I'm actually trying to find the post with the doodles that they did The artist is a toy designer for like he does like Barbie camper, like the last like 3 or 4 Barbie camper vans amongst like many other things. And he is like incredible, like on the fly, like drawing and everything. So we're sort of like pimping him out, doing like doodle contests, and he's creating tadpoles for the frog holders. So like, you know, we're airdropping flies on the frog holders, but you're going to need these flies in order to make tadpoles. It's actually like incredibly ridiculous. It probably falls in line like pretty well with what you guys are doing here. Yeah, we could definitely make some Fly Frog fan stories. I'm actually interviewing. We donate a bunch of money to Save the Frogs, so I'm gonna like interview the Save the Frog guy, and we're gonna like talk about frogs and stuff. I don't even know what we're gonna, you know, frog stuff. So it's been a lot of frog stuff lately, so I'll work it in.
Nice. Yeah, I think one of the things that we do, that we have done through Whip Publishing and PageDAO, and that we're really excited to do more of, and this is like a call to action to everybody out there listening. If you have a project, it could be, you know, a PFP avatar project or a gaming project, where the community is active in creating, you know, the lore and backstory and fan fiction and derivative stories and these type of things. We would love to work with people to help them develop that into actual NFTs and, you know, maybe NFT collections. And, you know, there's so much fun to be had and so much creativity to explore, not only with, you know, the larger creators in the space, but the actual collectors and community have so much to offer. So we are really looking forward to working with, you know, any project that has an idea to get some literature, whether it's, you know, some little fan fiction or the lore, or even, you know, a deep dive into, you know, the creation of that, or some crazy, you know, if there's like super cool technicals behind it. You know, we just want to bring all of that to the blockchain, give people the opportunities to be able to mint their fun fan fictions and things like that. So reach out to anybody on the team over at PageDAO, hop in our Discord if you have ideas for writing, and we'd love to work with, you know, anybody that wants to get creative.
Hell yeah. Well, do you want to tell us a little bit about that Chunkus story that you so unfortunately may have earlier?
And I wanted to see, I was just checking in the voice if we had Jim with us yet. I know he was going to get set up. We may not have him with us yet, but I can kick it off. And let's see, I was going to check if we had Phil in the house. He sometimes screen shares our story as we roll through it.
Oh, man, we just got the best question from Douglas. He said, great stuff you have planned for an NFT standard around literature. And yes, that is the goal. We want to make a protocol to put literature onto blockchains everywhere. And that includes all the blockchains. We want to do interchain, blockchaining.
In fact, before we go into story time, Dylan, maybe we could talk a little bit about how Page Token was distributed, and a little bit about, you know, what that broad story is also with Whip Publishing. And we will have a Whip Publishing show as well. I believe that one's tomorrow. But, you know, we do have these two entities that are very tied together, but do a little different activities and have a little different focus on where they're pushing.
Yeah. Okay. So there was a problem that we faced like all year. We knew we wanted to do a token and blockchain since like January, but we didn't know how. And it was really a tough nut to crack, because as like a C corporation incorporated in the U.S., you don't necessarily want to launch like a public blockchain, because there's all kinds of regulatory stuff that you know, there's hurdles that you run into if you do it that way. And then in June, we saw Sunny Agarwal launch Osmosis, basically by dropping the token and just giving all the token supply away. And they recently did do their first fundraising event, so I guess you can do fundraising too, which I hadn't known before. But basically what we did was we came up with this concept. We didn't have a blockchain yet to, you know, airdrop to addresses of or anything like that. So what we did is we identified a bunch of other organizations and DAOs, like the Mass DAO, from the space, and we are working with them. We airdropped the token, 100,000 to Crypto Rider, 50,000 to 9 other orgs throughout the metaverse. And we've been building projects together with these groups. And they've been helping us LP the Page token against ETH, which, adds value to the token and helps us use it to fund, cool projects and stuff. So basically the idea has just been, the whole time to keep it as open as possible, to make it as inclusive as possible. And, really we're starting to hit our stride, and I just can't say enough how excited I am to be here. So, yeah, thank you, Izzy.
It's been incredible, the support that we've had through the token, giveaway launch. So literally, we found a first, 10 kind of brotherly, sisterly communities and reached out. There was interest. We then dropped the tokens on those communities, and they can see them how, they can use them how they see fit. There was really no strings attached. It's just, here's these 50,000 page tokens. We did start a liquidity pool, and we were actually, we're pretty stoked on how that's gone as well. I think there's about 90K in liquidity in there, and we have a staking over on Tosdis where you can get pretty good APY. It's still up, I think, maybe around 380. I remember when I jumped in, I was one of the first, and it was like 1,500% or something, and I stacked a bunch of Page. So it will have more utility as we come, but it has been amazing to walk away kind of from approaching the route of the VCs. And we did have some interest in that sector, but it's then focus basically all shifts to the bottom line of making money. And we just really wanted to stay as true as we could to the core concept.
We wanted to still be weird,
Yeah.
We wanted to be able to be idiots.
Exactly. We wanted to just do our thing, let it kind of grow organically and be as open as possible to every idea. And so this crazy token launch actually worked. And so we've been pretty steady, I think around 13 cents per page, which is pretty decent. And yeah, it's just been amazing to have the support from the wide community there. And so I did want to mention, that's a possibility when, looking at these token launches. There's many ways to do it, and I just wanted to share how we went about it. So with that said, I think we could jump into ZombieVerse here. I know I tagged up Phil and Jim.
Yeah, let's get that link dropped in the chat if we can, and I'll jump right over there. And as you kind of go through and dictate the story that you accidentally deleted, I will try to type it up for you. How's that sound?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, and we have a bunch of it in the can, right? So I had kind of helped with some of the first chapter, and although it's in my head, I hadn't got it onto paper till last night. So we will pull it back out of my head, and then we have chapter outlines. Now, what we do, just real quick before we jump into the actual story, is we get together with the community. So Pass the Pen is every Friday in Tokensmart Discord. Shout out Tokensmart. And so we'll get together there and we take ideas, we get on the mic, people drop chunks in the chat, but we also work asynchronously through GitHub. So everything that's added there is tracked, each edit and by what person. So then at the end, when we create the story, we're able to weight the contributions from heavyweight, midweight, lightweight, and break down that so that the profits from the NFT sales can basically be split between those contributors, writers, artists for cover art and things like that, and then audiobook we'll be doing too. So that's kind of how we're approaching the putting it together. And then once we have the rough story, which is where we're at right now, we get a core crew together and they go through and basically do the final edit, add a little meat on the bones here and there, transitions, just kind of spicing it up, making sure it all flows, and then it'll be minted into an NFT. And because our first story turned into a pretty epic saga, which will probably have more parts coming, to be honest, we wanted to do something short and sweet. So really just over the last, 3 weeks, I think, we've pulled out this ZombieVerse, and we're aiming to get it cleaned up like over tonight and tomorrow, and then actually mint that NFT on Halloween. So ZombieVerse coming soon. Pretty exciting. All right, I see Phil. Phil of Austin is live. I'm actually going to tap over to his stream, which will contain the ZombieVerse.
Yeah. Sorry, I was lost in the metaverse trying to find the restroom.
Oh, all good. There, you know, in fact, if anybody has a wearable shoe that fell off, car keys, hat, wallet, there is the lost and found here at the Metaverse Music Fest. So, you know, you can go rummage around the lost and found, or if you get lost yourself, we'll find you there.
Got it. Wait,
Dope.
which side of the building is it on? I'm like,
in the Discord, actually, here is the lost and found.
oh, in the Discord. All right, never mind. All right, come back.
All righty, cool. So is there anything before we do this quick read? Do you want to, you know what? We should mention our Misfortune Mondays and the Misfortune Cookies too. And you've been a huge part, you've been kind of the heart and soul of that one, having birthed the idea, and really we've seen it grow to an amazing point.
Yeah, Misfortune Monday, baby. Every Monday we get together at 4 p.m. Central, and basically it's just a meme-a-thon. You come in, you write your misfortune message, and you bake it. And then you get to have this lovely image, which if you do enough of them, or you get enough likes, it will turn into an NFT. Now I can't find it.
What? So
I know.
just to blow the minds a little harder here, literally, this is an event that happens every Monday in the Whippy Discord. And we get together to kind of gripe. You do, the command is bake, to bake your misfortune cookie. So like bake, and then you will have explosive diarrhea. That was one of the early classics, right? And so then that phrase will get pulled up in text over a randomized image from what is it, Unsplash or something?
Yeah, Unsplash.
Yeah, so you get this random image, and then you get your text laid over it, and that's your misfortune cookie. And sometimes, every once in a while, the image and the text lines up really well, and then you know you're just like on fire. But it's so crazy and so fun because, and shout out to Indy, there's a bot that takes that image with that text that you just baked up in the Discord, and like Phil was saying, if you get enough of the little like reactions, a money bag reaction appears. And if the creator of that misfortune clicks on the money bag, that's basically signing your transaction, and boom, it's minted on Rarible right there. So straight out of a Discord onto the blockchain, up in the marketplace within, a hot minute. So it's pretty incredible.
Here's the one that you did, Easy. In the butt.
That one had a pretty good image. It just, every once in a while they click.
Man, we were in there last night, and I actually used the bot for a totally unintended purpose. I used it to generate a cover image for an article that I wrote, and I made this like super cool one. But then me and CD started just messing around with the bot, and I swear to God, it seemed like it was like self-aware. It was like shit get real weird.
Yeah, where was that? It's a new channel, isn't it? Experimental. Keep it weird.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right. Experimental. Yeah, the idea was that I wanted to get people to write stories using the bot. I just thought maybe I don't know. There's like an art to like interacting with like the search algorithm or something, and you end up like developing a skill where your stories make good pictures as you go.
Ooh.
And yeah, so that was the experiment, but mostly we were just in there kind of playing with it.
Oh shit! I just made a MVMF.
Oh, do share.
Well, you got to like it a bunch.
Okay, let's see if I can hop over
If everyone
into.
can jump into experimental right now and like this, it'll become an NFT.
We're making NFTs live right now in Discords. This is crazy. I'm looking for experimental right now so I can go give it a like. This is pretty cool.
Let me put this in live events. Yep. Just throw it on up here. There we go. Let's just call this the MVMF. There we go.
Okay, I'm still looking. So where is it now?
It's in live events underneath Misfortune Monday.
Sweet. Okay. Oh yeah, MVMF right there. Awesome. Okay, let me find. Oh yeah, I'm giving that a like.
Oh yeah. All right, baby. You ready to watch the magic happen?
Let's watch it.
We sending this to the bakery? What do you think,
Click
guys?
that money bag.
Sending this to production. Let's make a fucking NFT.
So that easy. That's how quick we can make an NFT. And there's definitely some interesting things we had talked about. Yeah, creating these short story threads that you could basically mint straight out of a Discord. And you know, I'm sure there'd be ways to, you know, put a specific image. We use mostly the random image with misfortune cookies, and it's super fun. But yeah, so it's just amazing. The kind of technical, yeah, like the tech behind it is incredible. The creative, just kind of the new creative tool and using the randomization is fun. It's actually very addictive. Like once you get in and you start thinking of a few good misfortunes, and then like maybe you pop up one with a really dope image, once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I like that one.
This is the first NFT I've ever made. I'll just say that. Like,
wow.
On my own, first NFT ever made. This one. May your nightmares come true, baby.
Oh, geez. Congrats. I mean, that one was a really great visual. So that's what I was meaning about. Sometimes they just kind of click.
Totally random. But this is my misfortune, you know? You always get like, oh, may your dreams come true. But the misfortune side of it would be nightmares, man.
Speaking of nightmares,
Let's
should we jump into ZombieVerse?
Oh.
It sounds true to me.
We'll see how long it takes this cookie to come to Rarible. We'll check
how long it takes to bake. Takes a few minutes, you know. It's got to get golden brown.
Yeah. We need like a pizza tracker type of thing.
Ooh, that Rizzle one's pretty dope. Yeah, even being able to bake like your handle through the bot, that's kind of cool.
I like your EZincrypto.
I like that too.
You're fancy.
I'm still feeling some jazz in my bones from last night's amazing Jack's Jazz session. That was like the pre-party for MVMF. It was kind of what we started, you know, kicking it off to, and it was an amazing set. But we're at the halfway line. I think we should jump into story time.
Oh, yeah, we definitely should.
We need 2 more likes on that Rizzle one to mint it.
Now, those would have to be likes over in the old Whippy, yeah, because we don't have the bot installed here, I don't think.
Touche.
But
all right, let's go.
Jumping over into the Whip Publishing Discord could always be a great idea. Okay, so here we go. The idea came up, it passed the pen, that we should make a kind of spooky book for, since we're in October, we knew that a lot of people were coming, you know, to NFT NYC here. We knew that MVMF was going to be right at the end of the month. So we really pushed ourselves to make this kind of deadline. And I think we're going to be able to pull it off. There'll be a couple of late night sessions here over the next day or so with myself and some of the crew to whip through the second phase and tighten it up. And I already told my sob story about the beginning. But basically, we have a group of friends. Charlie, Emily, and Chris. And they had been waiting, planning all month, super excited about Halloween. Now, they're a little older than, your average trick-or-treating kid, but still, they planned out hitting all the like full-size candy bar spots, before going anywhere else. They're going to stack up some bags of candy. They didn't actually put a lot of effort into their costumes, but, good enough to pass for an old lady or a soccer mom and get your candy. So, they were super excited about going out, having some fun, meeting up with some of their other friends, maybe throwing some eggs or getting into a little mischief. And so here comes Halloween Day, finally, and the weather has turned. We've got the biggest 100-year storm ever to have come down, bearing on this little town. And so it had started, raining a little in the morning, and it had only picked up and gotten steadier and stronger all day. So by the time the evening rolls around, Charlie calls up Emily and is like, oh, well, we could still go out, just get our raincoats and put on our slickers. And she's like, well, I don't know. It's pretty wet out there. It's crazy. This storm's supposed to be the worst ever. And he's like, yeah, I know. I figured we wouldn't go out just because of this damn storm. And so Emily is like, well, why don't we meet up in ZombieVerse and just party there? That's their favorite Metaverse game. So Charlie agrees. He says that he'll call Chris. He calls up Chris and he's like, yeah, I just talked to Emily. We're just going to meet up in ZombieVerse at 8 o'clock and, cruise around there. So begrudgingly, Chris is like, yeah, I figured that would happen with this damn storm. So 8 o'clock rolls around. Charlie's at his computer, just finishing up some email checks, sees that it's 8 o'clock on the nose, and he's excited. Okay, we're going to finally at least meet up in ZombieVerse and go tool around, slay some zombies, maybe steal some stuff from other players. He's logging in, wheels are spinning, waiting for it to load up, nothing. Clicking refresh, crack, boom! The biggest lightning and thunder he's ever heard strikes. Everything whites out. He opens his eyes, kind of in a daze, realizes that he's laying on his back on the asphalt in the middle of a road. The rain has stopped. There are clouds in the sky whipping across the moon, creating light and shadow. He looks around. There's like a cornfield off to one side and bushes and trees on the other. He's really freaked out, not knowing why he's out on the road. Gets to his feet, looks around, still in a daze, sees a couple of small houses in the distance. He's in a rural area. There's a bunch of lights farther in the distance that he figures must be a city. How the hell did he get here? He figures, well, I might as well go to one of these houses and find out where I am. So he starts walking a little groggily towards the first little cottage. And as he's walking, he's hearing some, sticks cracking and leaves crunching and some little grunts and odd noises. And he picks up his pace a little because it's just spooky. He gets to the front of the driveway. There's a porch light on. There's a little light coming from the upstairs or maybe the attic. So he just books it up the driveway, knocks on the door, no response. He's like, well, that's weird. Goes around. He's trying to look in the window there on the first floor, but it's so dark in there, he can't see anything. And then he hears something coming up the driveway. Spins around to see Chris. Chris is running full tilt up the driveway, yelling, it's after me. It's going to get me. Gets up to the porch, feels safer in the light. They exchange a little bit of, catch up. What the hell's going on? Where are we? I don't know. That kind of thing. Decide that the only thing they can do is go to the next house and hope someone is there. So they go back down the driveway at a pretty quick pace. They're walking up the road towards the next house, and it's a little ways away because it's a rural area. And they hear moaning coming from the bushes. And they basically Chris jumps behind Charlie. Charlie's pretty much frozen too, but he's trying to be brave. And he's like, who goes there? We're here. Another moan. And "It's me, guys," comes from Emily, and she stumbles out of the bushes asking, "What the hell is going on?" They converse, realize that they're in a very strange place, and the only thing they can do is try and find somebody. So they go to the next house. They walk up that driveway. There's a little more light coming from that house. They knock on the door, say trick or treat. They're like not sure even what's going on. And a pair of like ghoulish zombies open the door with a bowl of brains, and they compliment them on their human costumes. All three step back in a deeper daze, saying "no thank you," and then run off. So they're headed towards the city lights. They are freaked out. They're realizing something very wrong has happened, and that's about where chapter 1 ends.
Yeah. Man, I'm so sad that you deleted it by accident.
Oh man, it had like little like a lot of little dialogue bits in there that were better
Yeah.
than, just off the top of the head, but it will be back. It will be back later today, and then we'll be pushing forward with more of it. So we have, I don't know if we have Jim in the room. He does really great readings. I know he was trying to get to a solid internet, and if not, maybe Phil or Dylan, if either of you guys want to jump in and read some of the second and third parts of this. If we get through the other rough parts, we may be able to get some feedback to finish it right here at the MVMF with all these amazing people.
Yeah, I'm down. I regret to inform you that I did not get one word of the story you just read. You went a little fast for me, buddy, but it was great.
All good. We'll get it captured. Like I said, it's all in my head. It's just the little kind of details that got lost through the delete.
I do also want to remind everyone to go ahead and reach out and grab that POAP if you haven't already.
Woo! POAP time. That'll get my attention.
Oh, Anna says she was actually scared. You scared her, man.
Woohoo! I'm doing my job. It's so fun. It's so fun. And really, a lot of that was adapted with feedback that came from the community. Like I had the little idea of the lightning strike and they wake up there. And then through doing all this live at Pass the Pens, we develop and get ideas. And then, I mean, that's really just the little first installment. I'm more excited about all the amazing work that other people have done in their writings that we're about to read here.
Yeah.
So just real quick, did we introduce the meta host?
So basically we had I had dropped off. Yes. In fact, it should have been a couple more lines where they reach the gate to this kind of, like weird city, and they're met by the meta host. Yes.
Yeah. So the first section that we actually have written by CD, which he did last night, is actually pretty fucking good. But he doesn't pop in until after the meta host appears and they start their quest.
Yes. So so for everybody here, when these three people get to this kind of odd quote unquote cityscape, it's very weird. It's kind of maybe even like medieval-ish, and they haven't quite realized they're in ZombieVerse, but it's starting to dawn on them. And so when this basically character shows up that is the meta host, that's when it's really starting to, that's when it's really going to sink in that they are actually in the metaverse. They are in ZombieVerse. They've been somehow sucked in through that lightning strike into the metaverse. So they meet this meta host, just kind of appears, and he's like, ooh. Do we have some lines from him? I forget exactly where it kicks off. I believe there was a little dialogue between MetaHost and our heroes.
Let's just pick up on challenge, the first challenge.
Okay. So the MetaHost finally the MetaHost does talk to them. He basically explains that you are in the ZombieVerse. You will have to go through this set of challenges to be able to return back to your, your Regiverse human world. So that's, that's boom. Really, they know they're in for something crazy when they meet this, NCP that's telling them that they have to go through these challenges. Take it away, Phil.
All right. All right. So this would be chapter 2 by our awesome writer, CD. You know that feeling you get when you think you're going to throw up, but you never do? That was what it felt like, except it went on and on until they closed their eyes, and at that moment, they were blasted out of the portal like babies being propelled from the room to a rice paddy. It took a few moments for any of them to recover. First was Emily. Of course it was Emily. She's always the first at everything. Charlie, Chris, get your shit together. She said it as if if her shit hadn't been scattered just moments before. The boys were used to her at this point and knew that if they didn't do what she said, there would be hell to pay. Of course, from the looks of things, there was going to be hell to pay anyway. Come on, Emily. Come on, Emily said. She wasn't going to wait for them. She was already moving towards the only spot in the world that looked any different from where they had landed. A booming voice stopped her in her tracks and caused Chris to fall to the ground whimpering. Complete the mission or die, said the meta host. It wouldn't be the first or the last time they heard him. You will face 3 challenges based on each of your worst fears. You have 10 minutes. If you fail, you will die, but can know that you will suffer forever as a crappy NFT. Go.
Yeah.
You want to pick off?
Oh, no, I was just saying I love that idea, how they get like minted into an NFT forever if they fail.
It just kills me that he's also saying like, y'all are going to be shit NFTs, but you're going to get minted anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gold. Dylan, pick it up. I'm passing the mic.
You're trying to pass the mic now, huh? You passed the pen too? Let's see. I wasn't actually following along in the text.
Yeah.
Have you gotten to the dialogue yet, or?
Yeah, do you see where my cursor is right now? I have it highlighted.
Oh, I'm not looking at your screen share though. Maybe I should look at that.
Is it at the
Fuck. All right, I see why you want me to read that. I love swearing. Okay, so fuck. Chris was still on the ground. What's wrong with you, man? Charlie demanded. My greatest fear is zombies, Chris. Oh, it's fantastic. This created a shocked expression on both Charlie and Emily's faces. Me too, they both said at the same time. Suddenly, a wall of zombies was flowing at them. What had looked like an abandoned farmhouse seconds before. Run, you fools! Emily shouted. She was past them and on her way. Charlie helped Chris up even as the zombies got closer and closer. You okay, man? Chris seemed better. He nodded. Yes. We better go, man. They look fast. I don't know if we can outrun them at this point. Charlie shoved Chris to the ground hard. I'm not going to need to outrun them. Because I'm sure they'll stop to snack. Oh, God. Charlie ran away. It was a totally unexpected asshole move. Zombies don't actually bother me, Charlie mused as he ran. But I'm really scared of her women.
Yeah.
Emily loped ahead of him, unaware of what had taken place behind her. They blasted out of the portal and into a new foreign place.
CD's killing it, man. I love this. I totally feel that. I'm scared of women too.
I mean, they're terrifying. Yeah.
Anyone else in the audience love reading aloud? Anybody? We got somebody?
Wait, somebody said yeah. Oh, well, we're just trying to blast through it all.
All right. So next up is Maria Verde's contribution. I have it highlighted. Can you see it?
If you're seeing Phil's screen, it's highlighted. When they enter is where it's at right now. Okay, let me take this one and see if you can get Phil's stream up. So when they enter the portal, they arrive at the meta host parcel, where they must complete the first mission to move on to the next one. Okay, the first mission is this. Each of you must put on virtual reality glasses. You will each see different things. Three creepy things for each of you. You will have to face them and take each of them down before time runs out. They each have 10 minutes to complete the mission. If they fail, they will be immortalized as an NFT that will put into his NFT gallery and will never know the real world again. In 3, 2, 1, the three of them put on their glasses and the journey begins. One of them had to fight wild apes. Another has to fight yetis, and the last one will have to fight zombies hungry for blood and guts and brains. Unfortunately, the last one's greatest fear has always been zombies. He couldn't do much, and he was instantly eaten by the zombies. Game over. The other two will have to go on their way while he spends the rest of his days as part of the MetaHost gallery. In the ZombieVerse, there is no time for fear.
So I think that's an alternate ending, maybe?
Yeah,
I didn't pull them off immediately in the rest of the story.
We have these multiple parts that sometimes get merged into like a larger idea. So these are each people's segments, and what we'll be doing in the next day and a half is basically merging and blending all these and making it into one flow. Let's see. So then we're at Care de Azul. All right.
Yeah, I don't think this is an alternate.
I'll keep rolling with it till somebody jumps in. The friends must fight with zombies and go through places where they will overcome challenges, a kind of labyrinth. The first participant who has to face the zombies is with nothing but a map where he can get weapons to face one of those creepy things that the meta host assigned to them. He goes deep into the game looking for the places that are marked on the map. The first weapon is a firearm. He still has 2 more weapons to go to get to the place where he will face the creepy zombies. The player must walk a lot, climb trees and mountains to get the next weapon. He finds it in a waterfall. It is a knife. Although tired, he continues his way until he finds a cave with the next weapon. There are the bullets of the firearm. With these things, he should be ready to face the challenge, although the ZombieVerse, everything can change in a moment.
All
so
right.
there'll be these different challenges. Some we had talked about kind of a maze, so there'll be like different styles of challenges in this. Some are more mental, some are more physical. And so here we are, the third, chapter 3, the second challenge.
Yeah, do we want Rizzle to put his voice on the one?
Riz, you want to hop in and read some of this? If you've got your screen share up on Phil of Austin, it's highlighted.
I think I can. We're on chapter 3, second challenge here.
Yep.
Yeah, this is so funny. This reminds me of like doing these like wacky things with Sandy Meows with the Avastars readings and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Maria Verde. After finishing the first challenge, the 3 pass through the portal to a new city, but none of them know where the other is. They don't know if they are alive or dead. They arrive in a cyberpunk city many years ahead of its time. Technology overflows everywhere. That's when the 3 realize they're alive. They meet the governor, a guy eager for money and technology. He's the only human alive in that city. The others were turned into robots and Bitcoin mining machines. Do I keep going?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, cool.
Take it away.
Okay. Here's your second challenge, he says with a wicked smile on his face. You will have to get the first Bitcoin ever created. You have to navigate amongst thousands of robots and technology in the city, but it won't be easy. In the same search, there are also the ASIC miners. Good luck, ha ha ha. The challenge begins, and the 3 of them run off on their quest. The first attack against the ASIC miners begins, and they give the high voltage attack, but manage to dodge it.
All right, I'm gonna stop you there. Awesome job, man.
Thank you, Jerry.
So yeah, this is also a section that could definitely use some development. Thank you, Maria, for starting us off. Also, a quick shout out. She's the one who created these awesome images here. Got a book cover by Maria Verde. She also designed this little guy.
Nice. That's I didn't get to see that one yet. Love it. And
it's brand new.
Also, as a call to people here, if you get inspired by any of this story and you are a visual creator, in fact, for the last chapter or one of the last challenges that's coming up, would love to get a some kind of visual representation of that. And I don't know if hopefully we'll get there. And so you'll know what it is. We've got about 10 minutes and we might be able to run over by a couple minutes if we're almost to the end. So let's keep going.
Yeah, all right. I do really like this next section. Dazarine is the writer for this part. Anybody want to take it?
I'll take it if you don't.
Just to shamelessly plug Dazarine. Freak. I mean, he's just unbelievably talented. Know that he was a writer. So like this is actually one of the most special like kind of magic happens. We've started doing Whippy and PageDAO and all these events and stuff. We actually have found a writer that I 100% think is going to end up being famous, and he didn't even know he was a writer first. So like through these events, he just started contributing, and goddamn, he's good.
It's incredible.
I don't see him. Not today.
It's incredible the talent out there, and that's a large part of why Whip Publishing and PageDAO came into existence was exactly this. We know that there's talent and passion out there, and there was not an easy ramp to get your words out. And so we're trying to make this both more financially rewarding and just easier and more fun to get your ideas out there in a literary way. So should I jump on this, or Dylan, you want to take this one?
Easy. Let's hear it, man.
All right. So
Dazarine, and then we got Domino.
Okay, there we are. Okay, from Dazarine. The host laughs in a menacing way, clearly enjoying watching the friends scramble around to survive. They have fought terrible monsters, overcoming fears, and even had to hunt down the first Bitcoin, and now they were exhausted and weary. Only adrenaline propelled them on, and now the hope of reaching home alive. So you have made it this far, the host jeered, possibly just by luck. But let's test that last theory. Your next challenge is a maze, and you must reach the center. It is surrounded by high hedges with thorns that dig into your skin. There are also some plants that have grown a taste for human flesh. But this should not be a worry to you wonder kids. On the other side of the room, there was a door creaked open slowly. It led out into the darkness, where the faint rustle of leaves on the wind could be heard. So, just a maze? Asked Charlie, thinking this is all too easy compared to the ordeals they have had to endure. Yes, but there's a keeper of the maze also. You will have to be quicker than him to get to the portal. And he laughs again in a sinister way. The group stepped up to the door and looked out into the night. The maze seemed expansive and tall. There was no way to climb it and no way to walk the perimeter. It seemed to stretch as far as the eye could see. A loud thudding suddenly filled the air, like footsteps, but louder and slower. They turned in unison to see an ogre the size of a bus lumbering towards them. The keeper! They squealed as they all ran into the maze. They could hear the footsteps pounding behind them. They searched and scrambled for any path, but it was all so confusing and no path or way was evident. They hurried on more to keep a distance from the ogre, who never seemed far behind. All the hedges looked the same, and a cloudy night meant that they could not use stars as navigation. They thought they could use leaves to mark where they had been, but as soon as they approached the hedge to rip one off, a giant mouth appeared from the plant and attempted to swallow them whole. While they stuck to the middle of the path from then on, they had been in the maze for what felt like ages when they closed in near the center. They could see the portal's light reflecting off the leaves and hear the slow humming buzz of power. But alas, they were on the other side of the hedge and were faced with a dead end. I have an idea, shouted Charlie, and he put both his hands to his mouth and bellowed loudly, Ogre, ogre, one of my friends has fallen in some gravy. A distant rumbling could be heard. Footsteps as loud as battle drums came closer and closer. They could also hear breaking down of hedges as an hungry ogre smashed through them to find the straightest line to a quick. They stood and he did not even see them as his momentum carried him through the next. Large holes as wide as small cottages were in the hedgerow now, and they heard the ogre continue breaking through the rest. They stepped through one and into the portal. Boom.
Boom. Very nice, easy. All right. This is pretty much the last section that we have written out. This is by Dynamo. Anybody care to take the mic? Let's do it.
Guys? Hello, hello. I missed the goodbye, maybe, I think. Are you here, Easy?
Mighty, yeah.
Yeah.
We're just reading through the last part now.
Okay. Sorry. Didn't want to
Yeah,
disturb.
we've been watching Phil of Austin's stream sharing the text, and we're just in our last written section.
Yeah, I'm listening. I just thought, because I was focused on somewhere else, that you said goodbye, but so I was just wondering.
All good. I think we might actually just get right to the end of this as our hour winds down.
No, that's cool. Take your time to finish, and I love it.
Awesome.
Hey, Mighty, you there?
Yes.
Are we supposed to be hearing something right now?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Are you guys not hearing? I should look at the chat.
Audio
Yeah,
isn't
I'm
coming through the
hearing
main
it.
stream.
I'm
I
hearing
don't know.
it.
I guess that's probably a good place to stop for now. We only have a minute left.
Yeah, so as
Thank you
you
so
can
much, man.
all see, we have an incredible community of talented creators coming together to have fun and make these pass the pen stories come to life. everybody who contributes to them will get a portion of the NFT book sales. So we also, for this ZombieVerse one, partially because we really wanted to get it done quick and because we're still experimenting in the format of how we do these, we threw some pretty big page bounties out. So it was like, I don't know, 10,000 or something like that. So a pretty good amount of page was dropped to be split among the people that create this. So you get a little bit of, you get a little bit of coin in your pocket now. And then also there's the sales, the original sales, secondary sales, all this. So we're really trying to just have fun, bringing some literature to the blockchain. If you're interested in participating in something like Pass the Pen or Misfortunate Mondays or any type of writing, reading, audiobook, if you've always wanted to be a voice actor, well, we're going to be recording audiobooks. If you've always wanted to, do your poetry book, come along. We have other people doing poetry, and maybe we can make a really great, collaborative poetry book. Novels, scientific papers, you name it, we're going to put it on the blockchain. So much love. Huge shout out to the MVMF team. Thank you so much for having us from PageDAO over here. I'm going to drop a little more page, and we move on to the next act.
Yeah, thank you, Easy, and thank you. We publishing that was amazing. I don't take that much time to go into the books. I'm too much the head into the music, and so that's really incredible to see how that develops with the blockchain. The whole publishing side, and like you said, unlock people's creativity to write books, and pretty much like in music. Where you can connect to your audience and not having to really deal with the middlemen. And most necessarily, I don't know much about it, but I've heard and I assume that that there are the same types of gatekeeping in place in the book industry. So yeah, that's really cool to see. And I love
Thank you.
The fortune teller NFT as well. I opened the tab. I will look at it later or ping you back to send me the link, because maybe you can drop it in the chat again. These are the kind of new tools just for fun. Yeah, that looks addictive and fun.
Yes, and thank you so much for having us. And you hit the nail right on the head when you said you imagined that there would be the same kind of issues in gatekeeping and just barriers of entry or to be able to earn a living from your creativity as musicians have faced for years, writers have faced similar. So we're leveling the playing field here for all creatives, and just thanks again for having us. Let's party.
Okay. You're welcome anytime to talk about it here. And